Greetings, my fellow internet users. This is a shot of whiskey, and something dawned on me recently. I haven't streamed in over a month, nor posted a video in about 6, which is far more prevalent if you watch my content on a non-YouTube platform. Part of that, in particular with the first one, has to do with my internet being down for a few weeks. Most of it, though, has been because I've been working on some geeky writings lately, both my novel and a fanfic that I am trying to have reach over 60,000 words so it can qualify for a contest at my local anime convention. Yeah, I am that much of a geek. So I figured that it was about time I made something for you guys. Now, I'm not saying that I'm about to get back into the rhythm of making daily short responses to short videos yet, but I figured that it wouldn't be a bad idea to make something, considering that I have my personal laptop back and running.
I'm so happy.
One live stream I did a few months ago included my son tagging along with me. One of the things we covered, which may have been why YouTube kicked the stream, was the two of us were reviewing an episode of the original
and the Masters of the Universe.
Not only did I do this to show my son this cartoon for the first time, but I wanted to show y'all how a specific episode was a near-perfect representation of what men go through once a certain movement took off. Seeing as how that stream got cut short, I would like to take this opportunity to share what I mean. This episode, Betrayal of Stratos, was from Season 2. Now, for those of you who either don't know or don't remember who Stratos was, he was one of He-Man's allies in the fight against Skeletor. Stratos was the leader of the bird people of Avion, but this episode is the first time we saw his homeland or any other member of his species. Here is what he looks like. Doesn't look like he should be able to fly, does it? Well, keep in mind, this is a fantasy world where magic is everywhere. In this episode, we learn that the bird people have their ability to fly because of a magic egg. They rely on it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they worship it. Here, Skeletor comes up with one of his worst ideas for conquering Eternia, which is to steal the egg and have the power of flight himself. I don't know if that would work, but let's assume that it would do just that. Taking away the egg would also mean that the bird people would no longer be able to fly. So you'd think that every single bird person, knowing this, would value their deity egg enough to never betray their own kind. But then we wouldn't have a story that parallels one of the worst things that feminism has ever created. In the opening scene, Stratos nearly bumps into a female named Hawk. The two of them both claim that they wanted to check up on the force field generator. Now, maybe it's just me, but her voice sounds like she was intended to be a villain. But maybe I'm thinking that because I know what she's about to do. Yeah, spoiler, she's the traitor. Since Stratos has no reason to doubt the actual engineer, he backs away and lets Hawk do her job. The next scene has Stratos checking up on things with a monitor, and wouldn't you know it, Skeletor is leading an assault, and it just so happens that the shields are down. After telling some copy-paste soldiers to fight Skeletor head-on, which apparently was already taking place, he goes to check up on the generator. He finds that someone deliberately smashed it. The soldiers are able to drive away the invaders using smoke, which leads us to a scene where Stratos is trying to fix the generator. Hawk shows up and accuses him of sabotage. I'm telling you, I'm sabotage! We see the egg. Then the camera lowers to the court's proceedings against Stratos. Hawk convinces everyone that he has to be guilty because she said so, and that he should be banished as his punishment. After he reluctantly complies, we see that Hawk is smiling, thusly making it clear to any viewer, at least any adult viewer, that she is the guilty one. After he leaves, he takes a break, landing in the nest of some pterodactyl knockoff. The mother chases him off, but keeps the pursuit going until He-Man saves him by giving it food, which actually does make sense. Stratos explains what happened, and of course He-Man wants to help, because he knows that Stratos is a good man who would not do such a thing. Skeletor tries again, but this time the smoke screen launcher doodads don't work anymore. It's as if Stratos had nothing to do with the sabotage after all. So not only does Skeletor succeed in taking the egg...
No eggs. Empty egg carton. You don't have any eggs.
And not only does one bird person realize that Stratos wasn't around to cause this new problem, but nobody can find Hawk. The heroes return to Avion, and after seeing that it has been taken, they go to the sorceress to help find where Skeletor could have hidden the egg.
Your mama's ass.
Wouldn't you know it? It's in a place called the Demon Zone. After a typical warning about not letting any demons escape from the door, blah, 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 the team manages to get inside. You'd think that a door of such importance would have a lock on it or something. We then see Whiplash, who, despite being a goofy-looking lizard thing, is from this realm. He is talking to Crawl, the leader of the Demon Zone. Interesting character design, don't you think? So along with Crawl informing Whiplash of the invaders, it's at this point we learn that the demons only have the power to open that door twice a year.
Ooh, how convenient!
Whiplash opens the door to let his pet snake go out and get Orko. So, wouldn't that mean that the door has been opened twice already? Didn't they open the door to bring the egg in? Well, that's typical lazy 80s writing for you. Inside the zone, Stratos realizes that he's starting to lose his powers. After He-Man subdues Whiplash, we see the knockoff save Orko from the snake. Then we go back to hell, the Demon Zone, and find Hawk in a cage.
No! Dude! No f***ing way!
She admits that she betrayed Stratos and their people in exchange for riches. But only after He-Man called her out on her bluff. Yeah, she had the gall to claim that Skeletor kidnapped her for reasons unknown. Stratos supports the idea of Whiplash keeping her in a cage as a pet, but He-Man talks about how everyone deserves a second chance and points out that they will need all the help that they can get. He also points out that she should face a trial of her peers rather than be kept in a cage. After agreeing to help them retrieve the egg, He-Man lets her free.
I'm free! Dang it!
The egg is being guarded by another one of Whiplash's pets, a golden dragon. After a somewhat easy battle against the dragon and Whiplash, Crawl orders Whiplash to let the heroes go, because he wants them to break down the door, making it easier for the demons to escape. Aha, you see? The lazy scriptwriters really did think this one through. Now they do just that, and the only thing that does come out is the pet dragon. Their new flying friend quickly tosses the dragon back inside, and He-Man seals the door by smashing the landscape and causing a bunch of rocks to fill the hole.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
After He-Man and Stratos defend Hawk from the mob, the egg is placed back in its rightful, place, and the flying friend is declared a new ally. The episode ends with a lesson for the kids, something that different children's programs of this time did. This time the lesson was about forgiveness.
Today, Stratos of Avion learned the true value of forgiveness. When someone does something we don't like, it can be hard to forgive. It's at times like these that we must remember everyone deserves a second chance. We all make mistakes, and when we do, it's nice to have a friend who will understand and give us another chance. Right, my friend?
Right!
See you next time.
While I don't disagree with the idea in general, I also believe that there are some things that can never be forgiven. To clarify, let's officially compare this episode to the you-know-what. A man in a leadership role gets the boot because a woman lied about something relating to eggs. And he has to literally fight through the bowels of hell in order to prove his innocence, and was only able to do it because he had a powerful friend helping him out. False accusations of this nature, in my opinion, should never be forgiven. In fact, as far as an episodic lesson goes, the very last episode of He-Man had a lesson that I think is far more relevant to both this episode and the modern-day scenario that I am referencing.
Today we learned the importance of making the right decisions. When Cobra Khan lied about He-Man, King Pythos believed him at first because Cobra Khan was one of his people. But later he learned that trusting Cobra Khan was a big mistake. So when you have to make a decision about something, don't just jump at the first or the easiest answer. Think it through. Look at both sides and then decide. That way, whatever decisions you make will have a better chance of being the correct ones. See you next time.
Creepy winking aside, Man-at-Arms is correct, and this should be a message taught to every woman who ever once said, or even considered accepting, "Believe all women." And while I doubt this is the case, part of me wonders if the show was hinting on this very topic. If it was, it may have been inspired by a real-life event, similar to a pivotal plot point in the anime Rising of the Shield Hero. Thank you for your patience, and never forget that if you abuse alcohol, it will abuse you back.